technology always messes me, and we have to just run through. That was rehearsal we just had, guys. I'm going to show the beautiful Hugh here. And Conor, you're so important.
Somewhere
You
up there,
I
yeah.
think that might be your
Half a face,
wonderful
yeah.
eyes there. Now I'm outside the Whale Theatre. We are talking about the fact that you guys are about to debut for both of you, I guess, in Greystones in Connections. This is the 4 1-act plays. Greystones Players did incredibly well with Dancing at Lughnasa. I think the expectations are high here. Would you guys get nervous? Would you consider this just pure joy, or would there be a part of you that gets nervous?
I suppose you do get nervous, but the kind of adrenaline kind of fuels you on in a way. And I suppose like when you're in the moment, you don't really have time to be nervous if you're kind of focused in the skin of the character in a way. You kind of just, you almost forget there's people watching and you kind of just do it. It's your own kind of life in a way that you're portraying.
Well, you'd mentioned before, Hugh, that you just for the last 10 years that you came to this late as a kind of a, something to do with as you retired. Would you sort of see, I don't know if your ego would allow you to be, nervous? Would you sort of see it as a kind of, well, this is something important, I've got to do this well?
In a former life, I used to be extremely shy.
Right.
And one of the reasons of taking up this was to kind of get over yourself, for God's sake. Because if you're shy, you resist going out there and seeing the world and you learning new things. My dad lived to 94, so I intend to be around for another quarter of a century.
A bit longer,
playing in the Whale Theatre with Aideen, please God.
Well,
so, and another thing, it's not just something to do, it's a passion.
Yes,
and there's no point in doing it if it's not a passion, because there's a lot of very hard work for not necessarily a great deal of pay for people like Conor, and I know he knows that, but if it's really what he wants and he's prepared to put in the work, he'll make it.
Well, the reward is the work itself, hopefully. That is the goal ultimately.
Yes,
that in a room, that magic that happens between any performer and an audience is beyond any kind of price. That
it is priceless.
Feel that you're in a moment together, and it'll always be that sort of special. Yeah. Now, the Greystones Players, it's a relatively new kind of formation. It is a group. It is kind of already established well in the town. For you guys, how you came to sort of be involved, because I know both of you, you've been sort of acting, both of you, for a while before you got involved with this, but I don't know how you got wind of Greystones Players.
Well, last year they did their debut Dancing at Lughnasa.
Yeah.
And I suppose when I went to see that, I was struck because it was an amateur organisation and the talent was so high that I thought maybe I could add to that in some way and just get involved, get to know people, get to know the community, and just get a feel for theatre in general, build up experience, that kind of thing, and just work with a director. I think we're very lucky to work with Aideen. She has a master's in theatre directing, so she gives us a lot of advice, and it's an education itself.
And she's passionate.
She's
about
very
what she does.
Now you can tell us now, because you're amongst friends here. Has she hit either of you? Has she struck one of you?
I was hit on the first day and last week.
I knew it. I knew it.
No, she does it.
I could tell by the limp. I do that limp. It is kind of a profession that is, it is, as you said, really, it's a passion more than it's any kind of career. But those who love it and those who kind of get that kick out of it, can make a living out of it. I don't know for you, Conor, there is that sense that this will be hopefully your life, because I have a few friends who are actors, and it's a tough one, but you've obviously made that commitment already.
And it's easy for me to say now it'll be my passion when I'm living with my mum and dad. I'm not paying rent or anything like that. I understand, like, once you reach a certain age, bills come into the equation. If you have kids, financially it becomes a bit iffy. But I think when you're young, and if you put as much energy into it as you physically can, and you commit to it, there's the possibilities are endless.
Well, Michael Fassbender still lives with his parents. It takes a long time to pay off, really.
Exactly,
And Kerry.
So when it came to the Connections, and it is, as I said, 4 1-act plays. You've got 16 actors altogether, and you guys sort of, there was a bit of a kind of a fun thing, the fact that you're 19 and 69, so you're kind of opposite ends of what would, in some ways, in most professions, be very different. But the great thing about acting is it's exactly the same for both of you. It is what you bring to the table, who you are as a person, your appearance, your character, your age, and all that. So that is it's a great leveling.
Well, no one cares what you do out there in the world. I don't know what most of these people do for a living. Right. So there's none of this kind of cocktail party crap about your big car and your stuff like that. We're all the same when we go in there.
Exactly.
And if you mustn't let them down. You know that you must do your share. So that again is, I think, very good for people, for young people and for people my age too, you know.
Well, if just so you know, if they're actors, they're unemployed. That's how it works.
Well, yeah, resting, isn't that the word?
Resting,
Taking a break,
for decades. But I know your own particular play with Michael Frayn's audience. You have two interesting characters. You're going to play a playwright who's frustrated, and you're kind of working on your play within the play, and you play a young audience member who just doesn't want to be at the theatre. So I don't know whether that was it's kind of playful for both of you, because there's I'm sure you relate a little bit in both cases.
Yeah, I suppose the guy I'm playing, he doesn't want to be there. He's too cool for school. You know, he's been dragged along to it, and
Typecast.
That was what I was saying earlier. Yeah. But then his interest has changed when a young girl attends the play as well, and she arrives late. So his attention then suddenly becomes fixed to her. Right. So it's fun to play around with that, and I suppose you draw off your own life experiences, chasing girls, that kind of stuff, and just it's fun to do. Like it's a comedy play, but it's very kind of slapstick, and it's big, and it's fun. It's definitely fun to do. And
for you, Hugh, the kind of hall of mirrors of being somebody within the acting profession who's playing somebody within the acting, in the theatre profession who's frustrated. I don't know if there's a little bit of a bit of a chuckle about the fact that you're kind of going down this hall of mirrors of figuring out who he is and
absolutely. I mean, it's a lovely mirror of life, and you hope that the people watching it will get that idea. Yes. A mirror of life in the sense that you're trying to control this crowd so that they appreciate your play, and more and more you try to control them, the less and less they cooperate. They go off their own way, and you're driving yourself crazy, which is a lesson for life, that you can't control things. You have to just enjoy the ride as it goes along. Exactly. So it's a very rewarding piece to do, and like I said, it's an ensemble piece, so there are no prima donnas, no stars, and we're all getting on we haven't fallen out yet.
Not yet. I mean, like, we're still getting to know each other. It's early days, but I mean, it is an ensemble, and that's good for lines as well, because no one has a huge chunk of lines to learn off. It's quite doable. Right. So it's quite, it's fair portions for everyone, and everyone gets a chance to show their colours, I guess.
Let's hope so.
The joy for you guys, I know it's the 23rd to the 25th, it'll be here in the Wild Theatre. Yes. There'll be the joy of seeing it all kind of up on wheels and on the tracks for the first time really on the night, to just see the effect it has on the audience, because there is that, I think there is that sort of magic that you're always looking for, is that, not only the performer doing something that they love, but just how the audience feeds from that, and how the performance feeds back again from that. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful kind of, sensation of just seeing it all up there.
Yeah, it's not like movies. We absolutely rely on our audience. Yeah. And the feedback is what gives us the energy and passion to bring it to new heights. Exactly. So please God,
I can't wait now to actually get it on wheels and get it going. And
they say that one in 8 actors is really crap. So I'm trying to figure out from the poster. Have you guys figured out?
One of the
Quentin
others,
there is pretty flamboyant, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's probably him.
You're in trouble.
So we should say, as I said there, 23rd to the 25th of November. It's a wonderful thing to have in the town. Not only the theatre itself, but something like the Greystones Players just reflects that we are, there's a huge amount of artists in this town, and certainly a huge amount of people who love their art in all different shapes and forms. And I just love when you see people within your own community involved, and just up there on the stage, you realise that it is in our grasp. All this magic, all this, kind of art is for everybody, and it's available to everybody. And
you said it,
so
Paul.
So I think it's going to be obviously good for you guys, but I think it's going to be great for us too.
Please God.
No, hopefully we'll wait and see. But
now, if Fame comes along, you'll still.
I'll sign an autograph now.
Yeah.